Egypt is one of the oldest stories humanity has ever told. Long before skyscrapers, highways, and smartphones, people gathered beside the Nile and began building a civilization that would echo across the world. The Nile was not just a river, it was Egypt's lifeline, calendar, road, and source of survival. Every year, its floods brought rich black soil that allowed farmers to grow wheat, barley, and flax in the middle of a desert. Because of the Nile, villages became towns, towns became kingdoms, and kingdoms became one of history's greatest civilizations. Around 5,000 years ago, Upper and Lower Egypt were united under early kings, creating a powerful state with one ruler, one system, and one sacred identity. This was the beginning of the age of the pharaohs. To the ancient Egyptians, the pharaoh was not only a king, but also a bridge between humans and the gods. Religion shaped almost every part of Egyptian life, from farming and medicine to architecture and burial rituals. Egyptians believed that life continued after death, so they prepared carefully for the journey into the afterlife. This belief helped create some of the most famous monuments on Earth. The pyramids of Giza were not built as simple buildings. They were royal tombs designed to last forever. The Great Pyramid, built for Pharaoh Khufu, remains one of the most astonishing engineering achievements in human history. Even today, people still debate how ancient workers moved, shaped, and lifted millions of heavy stones with such precision. But the pyramids were only one part of Egypt's genius. Ancient Egyptians developed writing, mathematics, medicine, irrigation, sailing, art, and complex government systems. Their hieroglyphs turned temples and tombs into stone libraries filled with prayers, records, and stories. Scribes became essential because writing was power, memory, and administration. Temples rose along the Nile as centers of worship, economy, and political influence. In places like Karnak and Luxor, massive columns and carved walls showed the ambition of kings who wanted their names to survive forever. Some pharaohs became legends because of conquest, construction, or mystery. Hatshepsut ruled as one of Egypt's most successful female pharaohs and built a magnificent temple at Deir el-Bahari. Akhenaten tried to change Egyptian religion by focusing worship on the sun disk Aten, creating one of the most dramatic religious shifts in ancient history. Tutankhamun became world famous not because he ruled for long, but because his nearly intact tomb revealed the wealth and artistry of royal Egypt. Ramesses II projected power through temples, statues, and military campaigns, becoming one of Egypt's most recognizable rulers. Yet no civilization stays unchanged forever. Egypt faced invasions, internal struggles, economic pressure, and competition from rising powers around the Mediterranean and Near East. Over centuries, foreign rulers came and went, including Libyans, Nubians, Assyrians, Persians, Greeks, and Romans. When Alexander the Great entered Egypt in 332 BCE, he was welcomed by many as a liberator from Persian rule. After his death, the Ptolemaic dynasty ruled Egypt from Alexandria, a city that became a center of learning, trade, and culture. Alexandria's library became a symbol of ancient knowledge, even though its exact history and destruction remained debated. Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of Ptolemaic Egypt, tried to protect her kingdom in a world dominated by Rome. After Cleopatra's death in 30 BCE, Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. The age of the pharaohs was over, but Egypt's importance did not disappear. Under Roman rule, Egypt became a major supplier of grain and a strategic jewel of the empire. Later, Christianity spread across Egypt, and the Coptic tradition became a major part of Egyptian identity. In the 7th century, Arab Muslim armies entered Egypt, bringing a new language, new political structures, and Islamic culture. Over time, Arabic became the dominant language, and Cairo grew into one of the great cities of the Islamic world. Medieval Egypt became a crossroads of trade, scholarship, architecture, and military power. Dynasties such as the Fatimids, Ayyubids, and Mamluks shaped Cairo with mosques, schools, markets, and fortifications. The Mamluks resisted major threats and made Egypt a powerful force in the region. In 1517, Egypt became part of the Ottoman Empire, connecting it to a vast imperial network that stretched across 3 continents. Centuries later, Napoleon's invasion in 1798 shocked Egypt and Europe, opening a new chapter of military conflict, scientific study, and colonial ambition. The discovery and study of ancient Egyptian monuments during this period helped launch modern Egyptology. In the 19th century, Muhammad Ali Pasha began reforms that transformed the army, economy, and administration. Egypt started to modernize, but modernization came with debt, foreign influence, and political tension. The Suez Canal, opened in 1869, changed global trade by linking the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. It also made Egypt even more important to European powers. British influence grew, and Egypt came under British occupation in 1882. Egyptians continued to demand independence, and nationalist movements became stronger in the 20th century. In 1952, a revolution ended the monarchy and changed Egypt into a republic. Gamal Abdel Nasser became a central figure of modern Egyptian identity, Arab nationalism, and post-colonial politics. The nationalization of the Suez Canal in 1956 became a defining moment of Egyptian sovereignty. Later decades brought wars, peace treaties, population growth, economic challenges, and major social change. Modern Egypt is a country where ancient monuments stand beside crowded streets, new cities, satellite dishes, and fast-moving traffic. Cairo is one of the largest urban centers in Africa and the Middle East, filled with history, pressure, creativity, and constant movement. Tourism remains deeply connected to Egypt's ancient image, but the country is much more than pyramids and pharaohs. It is also music, cinema, food, football, universities, markets, religious traditions, and millions of everyday lives. The story of Egypt is not a straight line from glory to decline. It is a story of survival, reinvention, and memory. Ancient Egypt still attracts the world because it feels both mysterious and familiar. We see in it our own questions about power, death, faith, technology, and legacy. Modern Egypt carries that inheritance while facing the challenges of the present and the future. From the first farmers on the Nile to the people walking through Cairo today, Egypt has never stopped changing. And perhaps that is the real secret of Egypt. Not that it remained the same, but that it kept becoming something new. If you enjoyed this journey from ancient Egypt to modern Egypt, subscribe for more historical stories that connect the past to the world we live in today.